What's going on? So today's video is super exciting. We're actually going to pick up another project. Just what I need. Another project car, right? Like I don't already have enough of them. But we're gonna hop on the daily driver, the Drift Vic, which we have a video coming. I know you guys have been asking about it. It's not quite done yet, so I don't want to release it until it's done. More projects. This one's definitely different. This one is completely different. I've never owned this brand or chassis or anything. So yeah, that says a lot. But yeah, I'll give you guys a little tidbit of this. You can see it's got a roll cage and manual and one of those things. Yeah, this is a cool car. This one's fun. Just wrapped up stuff on this. Got some stuff on that to do. A bunch of good stuff. Full shop today. Got the Fox body over there. Everybody's out of town for the weekend, so your boys got the shop parking spots on lock. Should be pretty fun. So I'm actually about to take this vehicle to the desert, so we got to do a full prep. If that gives you any sort of hint, but I'll probably have it in the thumbnail or title anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, let's go pick this thing up. I'm stoked. I know I gotta walk over here and grab some stuff that I forgot about. Gosh, this place is a mess because I've done so many Black Widow systems this week. They're right there. So I could tie down this hunk of junk and hope it doesn't fly off the trailer, even though it probably wouldn't be a bad thing. I'm gonna go off into the abyss. Okay. Alright, got the old Gen 11 out. Hell yeah. Freaking flatbed, baby. So, thing's got a winch. And it's funny. I haven't seen this thing in so long. I don't remember if it even has a key. I think it's a push button start. So, I'm in for a treat because I know it doesn't start. It might just randomly start. You never know. Probably has a dead battery. It's been sitting for a long time. It's a pile of crap. Let's go see it. It should be a bunch of fun. Oh, I see it. I see it under that green tarp over there. A little piece of junk. There's nothing wrong with it. She's beautiful just the way she is. Look at that piece of crap. Bet you forgot I owned that car, huh? Well, I haven't seen this thing in a minute, and I bought it from a buddy of mine that just kind of wanted to get out from underneath it, and that's just, I'm that friend in the friend group. I'm sure all you guys have your own friend groups of car guys where there's one guy that says he's going to do the projects, there's one guy that buys all the projects, and there's another guy that actually builds them. And I'm always the guy that ends up being the one that, you know, finishes other people's projects. So that's my role. So this is it. Check this thing out. I'm going to get the covers off and show you guys, but you can see it's got a lot going on. And then there's that thing, which I'm sure a lot of you guys forgot I even owned. If you didn't know, I bought that thing back in 2020. I still have it. It's just sitting. What do you think, new heat shield build or what? You guys want to get your hands on this piece of fine automotive machinery that I left I've moved the same razor blade for like 3 years and it just slowly rusted away. I think the firewall's looking good. Yeah, it's fine. They remake those. AMD makes them, trust me. I looked everywhere. Oh yeah, I forgot this isn't even bolted on. Pretty sure if I open that door, the door falls off too. I don't think there's any bolts holding the door on. Oh yeah, this should be fun. Gosh, I haven't seen this thing in so long. Ugh, nasty. I forgot how many wheels came with this stupid thing. Tire holder. For sale. Oh yeah, this brings back memories. So this is, I don't really know what year it is. I think it's a 71, 2, 70, I don't know, something like that. But it's a bug, basically a bug body. It's got a lot of other crap going on and a water-cooled motor in it, which is pretty cool. And it's got coilovers. I don't think it starts. I don't know if there's keys. And from what I can tell, I don't, yeah, no, it definitely doesn't have keys. So it's a push button. I'm gonna try to start it. I don't think it's gonna start. It's probably been here for 5 months, sitting in the sun, so I doubt the battery's even remotely charged. And I left it hooked up like an idiot. So yeah, I'm gonna see if it starts. When I put it here, it didn't start. It just cranks for some reason, but that's what we're here to do today, is figure out why it doesn't run. Try to get it to run so you can hear this thing, because it sounds like a freaking F1 car. We walk to the back. Has a J30, I believe J30 or J35, I believe it's J30, Honda V6. So these things are badass when you put them in any sort of Volkswagen platform car. And because it's literally a straight piped off of the little headers there, this thing sounds like a freaking F1 car. It sounds sick. So I'm really hoping I can get it running today or tomorrow so you can hear this thing. And it's, yeah, it's a handful. It is a steamy pile of garbage. But it's cool and it's fun and it jumps and does that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna load it up and we're gonna start another project because that's what I need right now. Here she is. This thing's freaking rad. So like I said, I bought this thing, gosh, probably 5 months ago now. I've just been kind of storing it with the Fairlane, and then we actually got other projects over there. It's Michael's over there. So a bunch of future projects, but yeah, this thing's sick. So it needs a lot of work, but it's got a Nichols Fab. I guess we'll do a full build breakdown at the shop, but it's got a Nichols Fab ARM kit up front. It's got nice hubs, as you can see. It's got nice parts on it, really. It's got nice speed locks on it. And overall, just good, nice foundation. It's got the right motor in it. Overall, I think the cage and the chassis is what we're really gonna redo. I mean, you can see all the way to the floor. There's no paneling. There's holes cut in the floor. It's a little bit ghetto. So I think that's kind of where me and Franklin are really gonna take a lot of time on this thing and make it, you know, very nice. So yeah, you know I can't leave anything alone. So I think this would be cool because I've never done a bug. And I don't know, I mean, I'll probably get a little bit of hate for this, but I really don't like bug motors. Everyone that I've worked on, I don't know why, for whatever reason, I've just had the bad luck with them in the past on friends' vehicles, but I just have bad luck with them. So, and they're really slow, but this one's actually pretty fast. So I always make jokes to my friends, all the off-road cars that they have, that if I was ever gonna have a bug, I would not have a beam front end. I'd ditch the beams, go A-arms, this one is, and then I would ditch the air-cooled motor and put a water-cooled motor in it, and that's where we're at. So this bug fit everything that I wanted in a bug perfectly. And I get it's not a real bug at that point. I don't really care. I think this thing looks sick, and I think the way that we're gonna be building it is just, it's gonna be a cherry on top. So get this thing loaded on the trailer, bring it out of the shop, and I'll kind of show you the rest about it. I actually want to see if it starts though. Okay, there we go. And from my memory, I gotta remember how to freaking turn this thing on. Oh, that's that. Okay. As you can hear, it's basically a race car. So we have fans, ignition, I believe, fuel pump. A really garbage transmission that doesn't go into any gear. So this is a bus trans. I think it's like a 002 or something. I can't remember the terminology for it. There we go. I think it's dead. Yep, that's about what I thought I was gonna get. Oh, wait. What is the starter on this thing? Yeah, radiator's in the back window, because that's convenient. Also, our starter wire looks just dandy. Jiggle those around a little bit, maybe it'll start. Hey, where the hell is the other end? I'm missing a wire. This thing has a very funky wiring setup that needs to be redone. So from my memory, this thing has an atrocious wiring. Whoever wired this car, just, yeah, please don't do another car. Like I said, from my memory, I think there's a fuse that's out. So I think if I swap some fuses around, I think it'll work. This thing is sick. So as you can see, I think these are razor shocks, so they're nothing too special, but this is what I gotta deal with. Yeah, if you just take a good hard look at this, please don't ever wire your car like this. This is atrocious. I hate everything about this. Not only that, nothing was labeled. And this is like one of the cheap Amazon power pod pack things. And it just, yeah, that's bad. So I'm assuming this is the starter wire right here. So I don't know what that does, but I'm gonna put that there. Oh no, it's that one. Okay, so that goes there. Oh, that's the fuel pump. Dude, this thing's dead. Yeah, I think we're having a voltage issue. It could be the relay died. So that's weird, because before when we were moving it the first time, you could at least crank it over. So now it doesn't even crank, so that's even better. So whatever, I'll put the hood back on. We will load this turd on the trailer, and then I will stare at it and pretend like I feel like I want to work on it. Race car, bro. Someone want to race me for pink so I don't have to work on this thing? Yes, they cut it's got a really nice CNC pedal box in it, and they cut a huge floor in it to fit the, yeah, so that's cool. And I got some Bluetooth holes, and like lag bolted cage to the floor just takes the cage from me. See that one down there? That's like my favorite part. I love that one. That was real good. This is nice and sturdy. And a nice cut weld, so if I hit a bump and smack my leg into this, I'm just gonna tear my calf wide open. This is one of those, I think, like universal like kit cages, because it has like a lot of these tube connectors in it. And so I think this is a kit, and you basically slip it all together and rosette weld it all. Super budget friendly, super cheap. A couple of my buddies, back when they owned it, he ended up putting a different shock mount setup in the back, which worked a little bit better. Yeah, overall, I don't know. I'll just get back to the shop, I'll show you the rest. I will take credit, I did weld these two bars in. Just want everyone to take a good, hard look at this, understand.
Your bungee cord's a little smoked.
Yeah, that happens. When you have 18 project cars and your buddy calls you over to hang out, and then it ends up being a sales pitch for you to get them to buy your project, you should probably say no. But I didn't, but at least I got a cool bug now. Sounds so race carish, I love it. Whee! Okay, ready? Nothing. Look at that travel, bro. You like that?
That's it, right there.
That's a lot of travel. Why do I keep doing this to myself? But, yeah, it's street legal though. Beautiful. Can't wait to go through a drive-thru in this stupid thing. Alrighty, boys. There we go. Now we got a bug project. I'm stoked. This thing's gonna be so much fun. I just can't wait to tie into someone else's project and fix it. It's the most exciting thing. I get up every day, stretch my arms, and get out of bed. I'm like, you know what I want to do today? I want to fix someone else's crappy project, and that's what we're doing today. Massive shout out to my buddy Brandon for selling me this thing. I think it's gonna be good. Trust me with your bug, I'll make it worth your while. So this thing's gonna be pretty dope. But it definitely needs a lot of work. She's got a lot of problems, but it's all right. It's got some good bones. Just want to get it running and go jump it. But yeah, this thing, we have some pretty sweet plans for this, probably later next year. So if you guys want to let me know down below what we should do with this thing. I already have the build set up in my head, so it might be one of those cars that goes sideways and has a handbrake, but I don't know. Nice. Dude, Gen 11 putting in work or what? Yeah, getting flexed out, brother. You're Gucci, just go. Back in our home base. I gotta name this thing. That's your guys' job. At the end of this video, I want to find a name for this turd. So, name this bug. I'm really curious what you guys come up with. Let me know down below what you guys think we should name this turd. But yeah, this thing's a handful for sure. See if I can get the front to come up a little bit. Oh, we gotta do the winch a little bit. Get this bad boy unloaded. Probably get her in the shop, figure out what's going on with it. And, woo, there we go. Get her all stood up. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. What do you think? Is that your next whip or what? It's basically the same thing, man. Oh yeah, it took that one real nice. Okay, so now to get into this stupid thing. Oh my god, why do I do this? Oh my gosh. Why do people do this? So as you can imagine, it doesn't start. Wonder why. Okay, so we got this thing out in the shop. It's a little bit bright out, so sorry about the weird lighting, but this is pretty much what we got. So I'll kind of run over a little bit, a couple of the parts. It does have, I believe, a Nichols Fab front A-arm kit. I'm not sure how much over actually, but, and then it has, I believe these are actually just razor coilovers. They've been tuned, but they are just a pretty basic, like what you would see on a razor. Front and rear, which I'm not a huge fan of, but they do work. So we're gonna run it for a little while. I do have some Fox 2.510s race series sitting at my house that I might use later on, but yeah, this thing, I believe it's a 71 shell. It's titled and registered as a 71. So from what you can see, what's left of the bug shell and pan, but it does still have the original pan, at least for the most part, which is kind of surprising. But see, it's got a little CNC pedal box in there, MP pedal, a couple little retro things in here. The dash is absolutely hammered. I don't know what little switch panels and garbage is in this thing, but it's junk. It's actually got body filler in it. You can see all the cracking. It's kind of wild looking. But yeah, this whole thing is like a freaking 1/4 inch thick of Bondo in it. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? Yeah, some Corvo seats that are pretty decent, even though they're faded. A big fuel, got a big fuel tank right here, and the J30 right behind you. So apparently, from what my buddies told me, when this thing's running around in the desert, all you hear is the intake noise behind your head, and it's super cool. So I want to try to get this thing running and drive it, but it is registered. I mean, you can see it's got a license plate on it. It is a bug, essentially, even though it looks kind of crazy. So. But it is still a bug, so at the end of the day we should be able to drive on the street. I do need to get tags for it, but yeah, it's just a generic 3x3 setup in the back. I believe it's like a Cartec arm, and then I think it just has the larger bus CV axles, which aren't too crazy, and then I believe it's a bus, well, I know it's a bus box, I just can't think off the top of my head which one, but it's not really a great transmission. I mean, it's one of the better bus boxes, but I mean, it's a bus box, so it's better than just a generic Volkswagen transmission, but it's just not gonna last behind this motor, and me driving it, I know I'm just gonna destroy it. So hopefully I can get my hands on a Mendiola for something less than $5 grand. But yeah, you can see, dude, this thing cycled. The way that the suspension setup is just not correct. I mean, you can see the shock angle and everything is just kind of wild looking. And because of the way that the rear suspension is, you can see our ride height on the CV angle is just absolutely atrocious, to the point to where they actually cooked the CVs pretty good, and they're all going to need to be serviced and replaced. That was one of the big problems, is the suspension setup right now. Ride height is essentially droop, and that's not right at all, because if they drooped it out anymore, it's going to rip the CV out of the transmission. So yeah, obviously not ideal. Definitely need to change that. So it's almost like the motor needs to come back and needs to be mounted further back in the car, which wouldn't surprise me because you can just see that angle is, forward and backward is wild, and then up and down is also wild. So the rear end of the car would need to sit lower too to get a little bit of more droop travel out of it. But this whole rear setup is just not ideal. So yeah, it's got a pretty decent radiator in the back window. This seems to work. This car just never overheated when it ran. And overall, I mean, essentially it has good bones, but not good execution. The roll cage sucks. It's got tube connectors in it all over the place. And just a lot of hokey stuff going on. Really weird cage geometry. It's like bolted to the floor. I'm not a fan of any of this stuff. Like I said, it's got good bones, it's got good parts. We're gonna work with what we got. You can see the front tunnel is like welded to the bulkhead's like welded to the tranny tunnel with like hardly any bracing. Luckily, this goes up and then this does tie into the cage, so there's a little bit of vertical support there. But overall, I want to redesign a lot of the stuff on this car. It's not really ideal, but I think we can definitely work with it. So first thing I need to do is start with this atrocious wiring. I don't know who in the world wired this car. Just don't hire cars like this. If you do stuff like this, just let someone else do it, please. So don't burn your car to the ground for no reason. But nothing's labeled. Everything's just kind of thrown into place, self-tapered. You got joints on grounds on different bolts all around the place. Not a single wire is ran in any sort of regular fashion. This wire, I don't even know what it goes to. It's just sitting here. So I gotta basically go through and find all this stuff. But one thing I'm noticing is this is our main starter switch, and the one thing that this car does not do right now is start. So if I go inside of it, the only problem that I'm having is you turn everything on, which these aren't labeled correctly either. So that, I think, is our fuel pump. Yes, so this is our main power to the whole thing. I don't know why. And then you have fuel pump, fans. But the way that they're wired, this only works to main power. The fuel pump will only work if this is on, and the fans will only work if that's on. Explain that to me. And if all three are on, you go to fire it up. Oh, it actually, it cranked over. Wow, oh, wait, we might be getting somewhere. I didn't do that earlier, so maybe I jiggled around the switch just now and it actually might work. Let me try it. So essentially, we have no ignition is the problem. So everything there is okay, but for whatever stupid reason, yeah, you have to have these first two switches on to get this car to crank over. And if I have every freaking switch in this entire car on, it just does not crank over. It does not fire, and I do not know why. So I don't know if it's something with the computer, because this thing, check this out. This thing has the harness, and main computer is just tossed in the back of the car, zip tied right there with a bunch of wires all over it. And there's like a leather loom harness you can see up in this top corner just kind of chilling. So I don't know what the hell's going on. This thing's a rat's nest of crap, and should be a lot of fun to fix. I just can't wait. But either way, it should be pretty fun. This car's loud, this car's fast, and I really want to get it started. So we'll see if we can get it started. Okay, so the only downside about this car is I can't fit in this thing very well at all. And this is the harness that I got to deal with, if you can even see it, and it's an absolute disaster. So I don't know what any of this stuff is, what it goes to. All I know is that the wire coming back from the switch panel to these random wires in the computer, like 6 butt connectors in it. So the first diagnostic I'll do is I'll change that wire with another one. So as long as that does what it's supposed to, then we should be okay. As everything is on this car, I'm not holding my breath, but I can already tell damn well that this is going to be a very difficult car to work on in the future, mostly because I don't fit. I'm hanging through the quarter glass, and whenever I decide to cover these windows, I have absolutely no clue how I'm going to access the back of the harness without taking the seats out. So probably going to have to make some sort of removable seat bracket harness thing contraption, and that will probably end up being the way that I work on this car. Okay, so we have a new starter switch in it. Hopefully that helps. The other one was absolute trash. I have an idea. Put 10 gallons of freaking starter fluid on it. I found a problem. They never told me it didn't have any gas in it. Also, you can't yell at me for using 10 pounds of starting fluid. It's a Honda. It literally doesn't care. You can throw rocks in the intake and it would run fine. Okay, now we will commence putting 5 gallons of gas in this thing because no one ever told me it was out of gas. That's cool. Oh, this is going to be really difficult to put fuel in without dumping it all over the battery and the engine harness. Oh boy. That's going to have to get fixed. We're putting a filler on this thing. That is stupid. I'm not really sure about you, but I don't know any cars where you put fuel in through the window. That's a little weird. I'm not a fan of that. I'll put a twist lock one on the roof somewhere. See what that does. Watch, this thing's gonna fire right up now. And all this work I did, just because it was out of gas. Nobody told me. Look at this thing. This thing runs like perfect. Look how nice and smooth the timing chain gear runs. Or timing belt. Everything's working there. No clue how I'm supposed to bleed the cooling system in this car, so I'm just not. I don't know where to fill it. Oh my goodness. Who did that? How the hell are you supposed to fill that? I don't think any of the gauges are working. I don't know why these aren't working, but they're not. See if the temp gauge even works. I mean, it sounds good. It's got a really low, so from what I've been told, it's in limp mode right now. I don't know why, but it has like a 4,500 RPM rev limiter. When this thing revs to like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 grand. Like it revs way higher. It does sound like a freaking F1 car when you actually ramp it out all the way, but I think it's stuck in limp mode for some weird reason. And I don't really know anything about Honda, so I don't know why. But that'll be fun to dive into. But either way, this thing sounds freaking badass. I'm stoked. Oh yeah. All right, well, I feel obligated to drive it since I've never driven this thing. I mean, I bought it just as you see it, so I've never driven it, I've never been in it, I've never experienced anything. But I raced the Fox body next to it, and when I raced this car next to it, the Fox only beat it by 1 car length, so I know this car's fast, but it is definitely in limp mode for some reason, so it's like 20% power. So I'm gonna go up and down here real quick and just see what it does, just because I can't take it out on the street yet because it's not registered. But yeah, we'll see. Car I own. That is the sketchiest thing I've ever driven. I mean, it goes sideways, left, right, you hit the brakes and it just, I don't even know. This thing is ridiculous, dude. Never in my life did I think I'd be using a scanner on a bug, but I'm gonna plug into the OBD2 on this thing and see if there's any codes. I'd imagine if it's in limp mode, there's some sort of code holding the ECU from opening up. I'll try to clear everything and see if it helps. No idea if it works. I don't even know how to use one of these, to be honest. I don't own any cars. Scanning. Of course, I have to have the fuel pump on to run this because these guys ran everything in freaking series. I don't know what that is. Oh, wait. So we have that code. We have this code. Not sure what those are. So we have these two. So we're going to get out of this. We're going to clear these. See if it helps. Let's do a rescan just to see. What the hell? I don't even know what that means. Okay, screw it. Sounds good to me. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what it's supposed to sound like. Hell yeah. This thing is ridiculous, dude. Oh my goodness. Look at this. I don't know why the gauge pack isn't working. Yeah, that's a Honda for you, baby. This thing's probably way faster, but absolutely no way in hell I'm driving it. That was the sketchiest thing, just going there and back with an actual, like, let's say even 200 horsepower. I'm not driving this thing. I need to go over a lot of things on this car before I feel comfortable driving it. Especially, I feel more comfortable on the street because it's more open than I do in this parking lot. That's how sketchy this damn thing is, but damn, this thing's cool. So now you can see the real reason why I was okay with this car is because some of the parts that are on it are badass, like this engine. This engine's sick. So J30 Honda sounds absolutely badass. I think every Honda should sound like that, but dude, this thing is badass. I love it. So, alrighty guys, well, I'm gonna wrap this up, clean this thing up a little bit. I might hose it off, even though it won't look any different, but either way, successful. We got it running and running correctly. This thing is absolutely stupid and I love it. So this is my new Volkswagen Bug, or what's left of one, and I think this will be a really cool project because of how just unique and cut up it is. And I think we can do a lot with this car. So we are going to be completely redoing everything that has been half-assed or broken or set up wrong on this car. We're going to fix. I'm going to show you guys how. We're going to do it in a very budget-friendly way. So me and Franklin are going to be working a lot on this thing. I guess using a lot of our off-road knowledge that we've used on the F100s in the past, building his truck and a couple others to kind of go through from front to back on this thing and make sure that this is one of the sickest bugs that we can bring out of the shop. So I don't know what the timeline is for this thing. It'll probably get put on the back burner here and there. You'll probably see it pop in every other couple videos, but it'll be a pretty fun one for sure. So we're gonna do a lot of the tube work and chassis work and redo the cage, get the thing running right, get it tuned. I would definitely want to put a supercharger on this thing and hop up the motor a little bit. I think that would be a lot of fun. Definitely need to fix the suspension and the brake setup on this thing. It is towed out like crazy in the back. You probably saw it doing all sorts of weird stuff. The rear end is set up terribly. The rear end cage is terrible. All that stuff needs to get cut out before the motor falls out of it. But either way, I definitely want to make sure that this thing gets done right, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun on the desert this season. So with that being said, I hope you guys wanted to enjoy today's video. If you did, drop a like. It would really mean a lot to me. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video with this thing. It's going to be a good one.